y'all probably already know me, but if you don't, I'm Jenessa and I'm just gonna be really real with you guys. And this is not the easiest for me because, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna take a rest real quick. So I've talked in front of people a whole lot. I'm used to it. I'm not scared of it. I'm not nervous or anything. But exactly. Oh, I'm sorry. Exactly 1 year ago yesterday, God saved my life on this football field. And so I'm grateful when we sing, or gratitude, not grateful, gratitude. When we sing it, just like really touched my heart. Like, there's literally no words that can express how grateful I am for him. Because, well, I guess I'll tell you the story. I'm sure all of you already know it, but I'll tell you it again. So, I was at cheer practice, and we decided to take a cute picture on the field goal post. And about half of us wanted to, and about half of us didn't, but we ultimately decided to do it. We put the first girl up on the middle, and then the second girl like on the west side, and the third girl on the east side. And after the third girl got a little sketchy because they didn't have anything to hold on to. Like the fourth girl had to hold on to the other girls. And so I was friends with the fourth girl, obviously she was on my cheerleading team. And when we put her up there, she was really scared, so I said, hey, don't worry, if you go to fall, I'll catch you. And she was like, okay. And then pretty much immediately after we got her up there, she started to fall. So I took a half step forward, and that's when the 800-pound steel goalpost fell on my head and trapped me to the ground. Now, obviously, everybody was super scared, but God was there. God was standing right next to me, and the 7 cheerleaders and the coach lifted the 800-pound steel goalpost off of my head, and then went and called the ambulance, went and called my parents and everything. And when the ambulance got there, it kind of freaked everyone out because the driver got out of the car and then like tripped and cartoon rolled like down the hill. They're like, no, this person is not going to take my daughter. And so, but then we ended up needing a med flight anyway. And so we called up to OU and they sent a helicopter down. And another God wink, they just happened to send the only helicopter they have that has a room for an extra passenger so that my mom could ride with me to the hospital. That was a big God thing too, because she wouldn't have been able to handle it, I don't think. She couldn't come with me. But when we got to the hospital, I woke up and my mom was like, do you know where you are? Do you know what you're doing? Like, do you know what's happening? And I was like, no. She was like, okay, well, the goalpost fell on your head at practice. And I was like, I told them that was a bad idea. And that was the first real sign that I was okay, because I remembered it, and I could talk, and I could comprehend, because we didn't know if I was going to be dead, if I was going to be, like, mentally not stable, not there, but because of God, I'm here. And I ended up having a lot of breaks. My jaw broke, and it broke so bad that when I opened my mouth, you could see the bone. And yeah, that was kind of bad. And then I pretty much have no bones on the inside of my skull. So my skull's there, but all the bones on the inside, that's gone. So if you call me an airhead, you'd be right. But that's funny in my head. So yeah, then I was in the hospital for 3 weeks. The first week was my first surgery, and I had it in my ear. So there's 3 main bones in your ear that make you hear. The first one, completely shattered, it's gone. The second one was detached to the third one, and that's what causes the hearing loss in my right ear. And then, like a week after that was the one that was the surgery that I was most looking forward to, because it was my jaw surgery. Like I said, my jaw was broken in 2 different places, and the first one, it hurt a lot. I had to figure out how to communicate, eat, do everything with a broken jaw that wasn't stabilized. I was supposed to have the surgery to stabilize it the next week, 7 o'clock, and I woke up and I was having jaw surgery, so I wanted to brush my teeth. So I went over to the sink and I started brushing my teeth, and while I was doing that, I passed out into my dad's arms. Doctors, my parents, everybody started freaking out. We had no idea what was wrong with me. And so they ended up delaying they delayed the jaw surgery to noon that day. It was supposed to be at 7, and I was brushing my teeth about 10:30. And they ended up figuring out that I had a CSF leak. That's a cerebral spinal fluid. It's pretty much the sack of fluid that your brain sits on. Mine was leaking, and so that means my brain was leaking onto the non-existent bones that I had in my skull. And so it obviously caused major headaches, migraines, worst I've ever had. I was sensitive to light, sound. I wanted them to just turn off the entire hospital. Just turn off the lights, let me be alone, let me be by myself. And but luckily when they found that, if I wouldn't have passed out and they wouldn't have found it then, I would have died on that operating table for my job. Because if the CSF was so important, I would have kept like going out, and I would have ran out, and then I would have died on the table. And so that was a major God thing, because if I wouldn't have passed out then, and if the surgery wouldn't have been delayed, like I would not be here as well. So we ended up having the CSF repair that week instead of the jaw surgery, and they went up my nose and they patched the hole, and they took out all the bone fragments that were still in there, and so that's why I don't have any bones in my skull. And then another week after that, so this is the day before I leave the hospital, they finally give me the jaw surgery. It has been incredibly painful because I have to talk, I have to figure out how to eat, I have to sleep and everything, and I can't do that with a broken jaw. And so I was definitely ready for it. And they gave me the surgery, fixed the bone, put 4 screws in my mouth and wired them together. I got out the next day and I was overwhelmed by the amount of support and love from you guys and this town and my community and everything. Without you guys, I definitely wouldn't have been able to go through it, because I just knew I had such a backbone with you guys. But so I came home on Halloween, and the next day I went to basketball practice. I obviously couldn't do anything, but I had goals. I had to gain my weight back because I lost about 15 pounds in the hospital and I was at a very unhealthy weight. But I couldn't eat anything. I had to figure out how to gain weight back by like grinding up my food and eating like chicken Alfredo in a blender, which is actually better than normal Alfredo in my opinion. So I had to gain weight back. I had to figure out how to get my athleticism back, my strength back, because I didn't want to quit sports. Like, I've spent so long getting to where I am with sports, I didn't want to stop. And so I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to work harder and get there. And so I don't really know when exactly I started training with Vanda. She's a triathlon from Searle. I don't know if you know who she is. But I started strength training with her. And went to basketball. I got to dribble and work on my handles and stuff like that. And it took me, I think my first game was like mid-January that I got to play. I'm not positive about that. It may be late January or something. But it took me the entire rest of the season, all of summer ball, and a lot of time in the gym working on my own skills to get to where I am today. Because I'm pretty much to where I used to be, not exactly, and I also had to adapt to not being able to see. Because I haven't even mentioned that yet. I'm blind in my right eye, so I can't see my hand right now. Like, not there. So I had to figure out how to do that. But basically, if you get anything out of anything that I've said, I wrote down a verse. I wrote down 2 verses actually. The first one is John 9:3, and talking about a story about when the disciples saw a blind man and they asked Jesus, why is he a blind man? Did his parents or did he sin? And Jesus said, neither this man nor his parents sinned, but this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. And I know that's what happened with me, because he kept me alive today so that I can do things like this, share his glory, share his works, show that miracles still happen. It's very easy to look at the Bible and see all the miracles that Jesus did there, like healing the blind, making lame to walk, healing the paralyzed, all of that, death, everything that Jesus did, miraculous. It's easy to look at those and be like, yeah, that was older times. Yeah, miracles don't happen as much, but they happen. I'm a living testimony to that, so never give up hope. And then my second verse I have is Romans 8:28. It's a pretty popular verse. It's, in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. And with that, I kind of just want to say, I know what it feels like going through hard times. I don't show it, but I do. I know what it feels like going through hard times. And I just want to tell you guys that a lot of you are probably going through your own hard times, and it looks different for everybody. But no matter what your scenario is, no matter what your story is, God has a plan, and it will be okay. It might take a little bit. I'm still not exactly to where I used to be, and it happened a year ago today. So it might take a year, might take 10 years, might take 20, I don't know, but you're going to be okay. Yes. And if you ever feel like you need to quit, if you ever feel like just life is too hard and you need to quit, find somebody to talk to, because I had such a support system. I had everybody in my town, people from surrounding towns. People showed me the love that they have for me, and I know that everybody has that for you too. Strangers came up to me, and they supported me, and I just want to tell you guys, find somebody who you can talk to. If you don't have anybody to talk to, find me, talk to me, we can be friends. It'll be fun. So that's pretty much my story, and God is good. Yes. Glory to God.